Stacy Oakham. Present. Trevor Warren.
Here.
Mary Wiles. Here. 5-0, we have a quorum.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anybody want to do invocation? Sure. Please, Judge.
Bow with me, please. Our Heavenly Father, just come before you, Lord, and we thank you for this beautiful day, and we thank you for the rain that we've had, Lord, and I'm sure that the farmers out here would ask for more. But Lord, I just pray that you be with all this council that is here, Lord, and the mayor, that you would give them wisdom and insight, Lord, for everything for this city, Lord, that you would just give them grace. Lord, bless this town and all those that work very hard to make this a better place to live. And we work very hard for that, Lord, and I just pray you bless this town and guide us in your will. We thank you for all that you've given us and provide us. And, we thank you, Lord, for the appointments for today. And Lord, just be with us and guide us, I ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Unless you guys see anything we need to change around in the email minutes, I'll need a motion to adopt the agenda. I make a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll second it.
Michael Gunther.
Yes.
Anthony Campbell.
Yes.
Stacy Oakham. Yes. Trevor Warren.
Yes.
Mary Wiles. Yes. Passed 5-0.
Next up would be ratify May 2023 bills. And if you guys have any questions or anything on there, you guys should receive them in an email. The sludge on there, guys, you can see that, that's a big expense, but that's, I think we're completely empty, or we were at that point. So that was one of those things that has been ongoing, done slowly, but I think we're actually at the point right now where we're empty. Is that correct, Pat? So the sludge, we are actually empty? Yes.
Are we moving ahead with the truck and labor line?
I think that's part of their,
Which kind of, kind of when they talk like we use part of that money for a truck, we still haven't got seals, we can't find seals for the truck.
who do we ask for clarification on that, Pat?
What's his name for operating?
Whoever sent an email tomorrow about that. Clarification, if you can use that money for a sludge truck.
He, no, he said we could.
Well, I don't know, he didn't say anything about that the other day. He answered one question, and he could use the engineering design with the ARPA funds.
Yes.
So, I will find out.
Did you hear that, Mayor? You guys too? That we can use our ARPA money for the engineering, and we'll get sidetracked.
The design.
Yes, for the design.
It was from the, Greg Howe at DEMA.
That was the one we questioned.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
I was trying to remember where Tyson and what was. I don't know which one that was.
It's for grass and stuff, but
Yeah.
really is. I'll need a motion to approve all the resolutions. Or ratify,
Make a motion to ratify the May 2023 bills.
I'll second.
Michael Gunther.
Yes.
Anthony Campbell.
Yes.
Stacy Oakham.
Yes.
Trevor Warren.
Yes.
Mary Wiles.
Yes.
Passed 5-0.
minutes for the May 1st, 2023 meeting.
The only thing that I saw was that it didn't specify like who was staying and who was on 19 and 18.
Okay.
sure.
I mean, all the rest of them were
Right, and 20.
5 so.
You guys said that,
Thank you.
I'll need a motion to approve with corrections.
I'll make a motion to approve minutes of May 1, 2023.
I'll second it.
Michael Gunther?
Yes.
Anthony Campbell?
Yes.
Stacy Oakham?
Yes.
Trevor Warner?
Yes.
Mary Wiles? Yes. Passed 5-0.
Next up would be the Marys County Bank account amendment. So apparently when we approved the city accounts, we changed the signature cards. They updated the court's cards too with the same people's names. So we need to just annotate in our notes that that was not part of the city accounts that we changed. So they need to reverse that. I'll need a motion for that, yes. Just so they can annotate it.
It's just the court account, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion to amend the Marys County bank accounts for the court account. That should just have the judge and the court clerk.
Judge, court clerk, and one other person to
It's
approve.
mayor,
I
isn't it?
think it's you.
I think
Might
it's mayor.
not, Oscar won't allow that, it has to be the judge and the clerk only.
I don't remember what it said. I just know.
Just redact it to whatever it was before, so.
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we went through this like 2 years ago, and I don't know why all of a sudden it's changed up there before we, but it is what it is, we'll get it fixed.
I'll second that.
Michael Gunther?
Yes.
Anthony Campbell?
Yes.
Stacy Oakham?
Yes.
Trevor Warner?
Yes.
Mary Wiles?
Yes.
Passed 5-0.
Next up would be Bill 2023-0022, conflict of interest ordinance. That's just, I think by every 2 years we have to pass this. It's been hanging, so I'll need a,
We just start reading by the title.
To read the
yes, approved.
And second one approved.
Make a motion for the first reading of Bill 2023-0022.
I'll second it.
Michael Gunther?
Yes.
Anthony Campbell?
Yes.
Stacy Oakham?
Yes.
Trevor Warner?
Yes.
Mary Wiles?
Yes.
Passed 5-0.
An ordinance of the city of Dixon, Missouri to establish a procedure to dispose potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain officials. Be it resolved by the Board of Aldermen, City of Dixon, Missouri as follows. Need a motion for second reading by title only.
I'll make a motion to read Bill 2023-0022, the second reading.
I'll second that.
Michael Gunther?
Yes.
Anthony Campbell?
Yes.
Stacy Oakham?
Yes.
Trevor Warner?
Yes.
Mary Wiles?
Yes.
Passed 5-0.
In ordinance of the City of Dixon, Missouri to establish a procedure to disclose potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain officials. Need a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve bill number 2023-0022.
Second.
Michael Gunther?
Yes.
Anthony Campbell?
Yes.
Stacy Oakham?
Yes.
Trevor Warner?
Yes.
Mary Wiles?
Yes.
Passed 5-0.
Yes. Next up would be Bill 2023-0023, wastewater treatment facility task order number 4. That is what we had a workshop for the other day. You guys should be familiar with it. I'll need a motion for the first reading by title only.
Make a motion for the first reading of Bill number 2023-0023 by title only.
I'll second it.
Michael Gunther?
Yes.
Anthony Campbell?
Yes.
Stacy Oakham?
Yes.
Trevor Warner?
Yes.
Mary Wiles?
Yes.
Passed 5-0.
Ordinance authorizing the mayor of Dixon to execute task order number 4, the wastewater treatment facility improvements. Need a motion for the second reading by title only.
I'll make a motion for the second reading of bill 2023-23 for 0023.
I'll second it.
I know.
Michael Gunther?
Yes.
Anthony Campbell?
Yes.
Stacy Oakham?
Yes.
Trevor Warner?
Yes.
Mary Wiles?
Yes.
Passed 5-0.
Ordinance authorizing the mayor of Dixon to execute task order number 4, the wastewater treatment facility improvements. I'll need a motion to approve, guys.
I'll make a motion to approve bill number 2023-0023.
I'll second it.
Michael Gunther?
Yes.
Anthony Campbell?
Yes.
Stacy Alderman?
Yep.
Trevor Warner?
Yes.
Mary Wiles? Yes. Passed 5-0.
That's a big step forward for us. We've struggled with that for many years, and we're actually finally moving forward with the sewer plan, so thank you guys. Bids for our demolition of 3 minutes out of town. That's a new property that we intend to make a parking lot. Our community parking for across from the Mexican restaurant. We only received 1 bid. That bid amount was recent equipment, totaling $6,700. What it includes is the DNR filing fee, labor machine time for demo, cleanup and debris, hauling fees to the landfill. What it does not include is asbestos report we want to have done, guys. So, obviously, the asbestos will be separate. Well, looking at it, it appears to have tile inside there, it has wood floors, so that's a plus. Ceilings seem to be updated. The only thing I see that is presumed to be is the siding, which in talking to different people, I believe will cost us anywhere from $1,000 to $2,500. After we get the report back, we can come back and say, okay, I want you to fully work. Yes, it's, we're being clear here, it's the same landfill, it just requires special paper.
And then they cut it out on the ground and then there's a your tax dollars got work.
If you guys are fine with that, I'll need a motion to approve that.
Did you approve of
I have to go back.
I just didn't know if we need to change something else.
Did we approve a total amount for that? Do you remember? I think we approved that for $10,000 is what I want to say, Trevor, but
I just didn't know if they.
I know we estimated, and I don't know what.
There is this, I don't think you guys voted on this.
Okay, that's all.
For the demo, just the purchase.
yeah, and we can do it one of 2 ways, however you guys want to do it. We can come back after we get the asbestos report. If we want to move a little quicker, we can designate them out so we can approve that automatically once we do get it back to haul off, and then the route 2 to create it, however you guys want to do that, so.
Really, around what's in that. No.
Yes, that's what.
That's what I just said, I would estimate from saying it would be between 12 to $3 grand at the highest. I would say support. Yes, so that's what I estimated.
So $10,000 roughly.
Maybe a little less. It won't take us a substantial amount of rock, it's just depending on the ground, looks like it's pretty dry. And we'll put 2 down and takes over the top. Or we can, or whatever works best, it may be better that way. And how you guys want to do it. Even if he doesn't want to haul, we can have the haul like we normally do. So, we'll put 2 inch down probably, and 1 space over the top of it, and make a good room. All right. You guys just
So
let
we
me know
deciding whether to approve an amount now or
once we get the report back.
once we get the report.
A group all in,
Yeah, what's the total cost?
Do you remember anything? I think it's like
I said 300, 500.
So if it costs us, let's say $2,000, we're at maybe 9,200, we'll have 3,500 probably in gravel to make it nice, maybe a little less. So all in, it should be under 12,000. Or demos.
I don't know which one you want to do before first, so if we're not see how much that actually costs.
I don't care. So,
So we do all, it's just,
I mean, we're not we're not gonna have much of an option to say, well, no, we don't want to haul these asbestos. So pretty much.
Although we can have a report sent to us, that we include.
Yeah, and no matter what, we'll get the report there, we'll get the report and say what items need to be.
So we can see it.
And as soon as it does, we'll let you guys know. By email, it just keeps us from having to come back and vote on the
Right, that's correct. I don't see
All
all
our
we're
time.
changing anything.
That's all
I
we're
mean, if they
doing.
come back and say it's gonna be 20 grand haul asbestos, then
It'd be different, but that's not.
should that, or should.
We'll have to do it.
It's not great. It does have the tiles in there, it doesn't have the insulation. The only thing that I think they presume is the siding.
All I've seen in there is the wooden boards. Also, they removed all the asbestos shingles already.
And the size.
The tiles.
The
Yeah.
tiles,
You don't have the 4,000. That's it.
yeah. I'm not going in there.
Somebody else can. All right. You guys want to approve 12,000, you guys want to get back here? It doesn't bother me one way or another, so it's really whatever it is up to you guys.
I guess we could approve that for the dollar amount and then the report comes back and says, oh, it's.
After 12,000, if it comes back, we'll come back and have another meeting to discuss that.
So for the 6,700 plus the asbestos to 12,
Cap it at 12,000 with demolition. Demolition, are you following us too, Pat? Demolition, rock, asbestos. Yes, Mike.
Yeah, that's, so there are no other costs involved.
You'll have the report in there, which we believe is, you say 3 or 5 grand. It's hundreds of dollars, it's not near the thousands.
The report letter, if it is determined there is some, whatever the cost of removal, which will be
Yes.
based on the amount they find. Correct?
Questions? Motions?
I mean, I don't see, it doesn't really matter when we have it. You're gonna have to have this, that's just all off.
It's gonna-
It doesn't matter if it costs 2 grand or 10 grand.
I can come back there when they're.
No, I think 12 is a good number.
In the worst case scenario, we're short on rock and look, we have a stockpile of rock.
We'll figure it out. I can honestly, maybe if we'll figure it out, I think we'll make it. We'll have some good debate around that.
We need to accept this bid separate from,
Correct, so we need to accept the bid
we
separately.
don't need to accept this separately from,
Giving the additional,
and then we do the extra, then we would have a discussion about the additional.
Mr. Attorney?
You guys are all set, we can move on, I can't hear you.
Go back to playing on our phone, it's not.
Do we need to accept the bid?
Can we accept it with the cap?
That's the only bid we got?
Yes.
That'd be fine. I mean, that's part of what you're paying, right? I mean, part of the bid includes some unknowns, which is,
I would think we would go under 1, but that's why we would pay you big bucks.
I think you can accept the bid with the caveat that if the asbestos comes in too high, then it's going to be evaluated. Because they haven't given you a fixed price in the bid, so you can't really, you can accept it, but I think the caveat's going to.
So if the asbestos report comes back that there's a substantial more work to be done, then is it possible that a bid that combines both of those? Because it appears that Reese is not in the asbestos business, is that, am I understanding that right?
No, they can haul it.
Yeah, Reese is obviously one of the ones that is qualified to remove.
You can't, because
Okay, yes.
you can't, the same company can't do both.
You can't have it, okay, so if it has to, you have to have somebody inspected from different companies and somebody do the work. You can't have, the agency can't have, you can't have an inspector and haul. So Reese could be an inspector, and he can be licensed removal, but he can't do both. Yeah. That'd be a huge conflict. Huge.
It'd be a ton.
That's a whole other subject. Yeah. Reese makes sense. Yes. You get under there.
I don't have any questions.
Good starting number.
I'm very, very confident 12 because I can take care of it about very nice parking lot. No, we will get the parking lot first. I would love it to be concrete one day or paved or something.
Did you remember the price on it?
I'll make a motion to allot $12,000 for asbestos. Yeah, to approve this bid.
Yeah, for the asbestos removal.
For the rock and the asbestos abatement. Did you get all that?
I'll second it.
Michael Duffy?
No.
Anthony Campbell?
Yes.
Tracy Yocum?
Yes.
Trevor Warren?
Yes.
Mary Wiles?
Yes.
Pass 4-1.
Thank you guys. Next up would be business license. We have 3 of them. C. Thomas Enterprises, Nemo Builders, and it looks like for Tony Construction. I don't know the other ones. So, you guys, anybody want to look at it? Sure. We can go on the I don't know what these are, they may be a contractor for that, I mean, but I'm not sure. motion to approve the three as ready.
Make a motion to approve the 3 business license.
I'll second that.
Michael Bethel.
Yes.
Anthony Campbell.
Yes.
Stacy Yocum.
Yes.
Trevor Morrow.
Yes.
Mary Wiles.
Yes.
Passed 5-0.
Next step would be, do we have Elizabeth Berry here? Dixon Manor will be at our next meeting, to understand. Next step would be chickens and city limits. So technically, the way it states now, for ordinance that it's vague, but basically you shouldn't have one. There's some regulations with 100 feet of your fence line and yada, 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 and it can't be outside or something like that. Is that what it says?
And then where it would cause an odor or a nuisance to someone.
That's not just that one, that is.
Oh,
All types of livestock.
So are we gonna update the code book? Because when you search in the code book, it doesn't have that.
I don't-
It doesn't say that.
I'm open, but I guess honestly, unless I have to hear it, and I'll ask you guys too, it doesn't necessarily bother me. I don't care one way or another. There's gotta be some rules and regulations that are like too.
Obviously, because there's already a rule in place.
So,
Neighbors complain, that's it, that would be, you know,
Yeah.
something like that.
I don't know if you've ever had anything of that, have we? So, if
You wanna start
Somebody
complaining about
wants to
animals
be-
in people's yards, I can complain all day long. We don't.
I mean, that's okay, my complaints of dogs and cats, than about chickens.
Well, we have an excessive amount of cats, so I can see the bias towards the complaints of cats.
does anybody here have an issue with chickens? I mean, I speak because I need your opinion on it. But
We're not talking free
Chicken
range,
range.
right?
Yeah, no, free range.
No free
They
range.
gotta be in a pen,
we
they gotta
just,
have food.
we have to, I guess, will depend on you to develop an updated thing because I think Mary said I haven't checked myself, but I'll trust her that it's not.
It's not in the code book.
Mike,
Yes, sir.
you might want to at least think about the provision if somebody's got a rooster that decides to get a night's not bad time.
And I agree with you 100% on that. That's why I say we'll have to have some type of like, if it becomes a nuisance, we need to address it. That's
That's what I like.
I got a dog that barks all night long, and I would love for them to make stop. And it's not mine.
We also
Not
had
so
a
bad,
citizen,
you got 3 or 4.
we also had a citizen inquire about peafowl.
Like
Peacocks and peafowl.
Like guineas are loud.
Yeah.
Peacocks are loud. Peacocks are super loud. They scream.
I think we'd be all right with chickens. I don't think we, if you
Really,
really,
say no to restrictions.
if you
Not
want.
really, like demonstrate the sound of a peacock.
Go ahead. We have to draw a line. If you want a farm, the city of Dixon is not the place for a farm. So I'm all right with you having chickens to produce some eggs, but we don't need a chicken farm. We don't need.
So are we going to allow roosters, no roosters?
I say no roosters.
There are other cities who allow hens and not roosters.
I despise chickens personally, so.
Is there like a number of chickens? I mean,
Is there a number you're gonna put on it?
Yes, that's, we're open for discussion, so.
I was just saying 10 or less.
Well, it depends on the size of the lot.
I mean, I could have 20 chickens in my house.
Yeah, that's true.
But 10 will produce enough for your family. Surely, right? Who has chickens here?
My neighbor does. My neighbor's got chickens and they're a nuisance.
We don't want that to become an issue, so that's why I'm very weary of this, but at the same token, if somebody can do it in an efficient manner, I don't.
Can we keep the ordinance as it states and just not enforce it?
I would say the normal household, in all honesty, in town would leave it 6 inches.
Okay.
They're gonna lay one egg.
Up to 6. Okay, we'll trust you back. Maybe we can draft
That's the
something.
one made decisions, one time.
Yep. You'll be enforcing it too, Pat, so let it go.
We do not want a farm.
Is there any other problem like we can think of that would cause issues that we should talk about?
All right, 6. No roosters. You got that, Jeff? Thank you. Manufactured homes, this has become, we need to discuss, do we want manufactured homes, do we not want manufactured homes? Last time we went to the deal, we basically, everybody here said no manufactured homes, where do you guys believe on that? So if that's what you guys want, to have a Jeff draft an ordinance that states 0 manufactured homes.
So, I was gonna say, are we going, I mean, we're gonna have to do what they're grandfather.
Yes, they would all be there, so you can't go back there next to these.
Does that include travel trailers?
Well, travel trailers, so that's always good. Travel trailers as a residence. That's a residence, that's
You say mobile home, you're talking about.
Hey, guys, one conversation, please, at a time.
Are you talking about manufactured homes?
Yes.
Kind of like the ones the churches put in.
Exactly, that's what brought that up, because behind the scenes and even in the scenes, that was,
I believe we were under the implication that the ordinance prohibited it, and it kind of doesn't.
there's a loophole in there, basically, the way it is now, if you have an engineer sign off on it, it has a concrete foundation that actually touches the mobile home, has to make contact with it, has to rest on it, that you can, that's the only loophole in there. They jumped through all the hoops, they had an engineer do it, but if I'm being honest, I don't think it looks terrible, but at the same token, it's not as nice as they built home, I think you all agree, so.
I'm good with the way it is, but it's not.
So if it rolls in on wheels? No.
Rolls on,
That's that.
There's even some of the, I guess,
Well, cause like there are some,
modular homes.
yeah, modular that come in on, like they come in pieces, so they don't get rolled in.
Well, there's like several stages, of it. You have modular homes that are literally 2 pieces that call it like a trailer does, and then they hold it. But then you also have like modular, like a wall saw home where they ship walls to you, you're standing up. That is going to be allowable, but if it's coming prefab, no prefab homes, I'm sure there's a lawyer school for that.
What's the what is the definition?
Roadside.
Well, I mean, we just added the entire international building code for residential homes too. I'm no expert on that by far, by any means, but there's a lot of regulations that a lot of mobile homes may not meet within that as well.
And that is true, I just, I don't really, have a huge opinion on it, but I'd much rather have stick versus a mobile home of any apparatus, so.
I also think that if one is here and it gets moved, it needs to be next.
Yes, well, that's the way it is now, you cannot move from point A to point B. Who? Who moved it?
I don't know, but remember the sidewalk got cut off?
Yeah.
And now
No, he cut the trailer in half.
we're.
He never, he cut it off.
Look, there you go. He cut the
All right, I didn't realize it got smaller again.
So everybody that doesn't know, somebody has a trailer that's on city property, instead of moving it, they cut the trailer in half. Do you understand what the councilman judge, do you draw something like that? No,
Cut it in half.
Okay, yeah, if we're gonna go that far, then modification of existing cannot happen.
As in,
I mean,
Like an addition or
Or-
cutting it?
Like, if it needs, if you have to cut your trailer in half.
The building code would
probably
cover that, the building code would cover that now, because we would have that, okay, so that'd be fine. Another thing that isn't done, and we've talked about this in the past, we'll have maybe with the nuisance too, if you have a mobile home in town, one of the biggest things that is an eyesore is that the skirting or underpinning, however you want to have it, needs to be uniform and matching in color, so that's something that is stated in there.
And that's in our ordinance.
Yes, that is. Questions, concerns?
So, something that if, as of the effective date, if it is moved or modified, that is no longer acceptable.
What if,
Correct. Like-
let me ask this,
So we
like,
have to pass a new ordinance.
if there's a new siding, somebody has, because there's nice ones in there. I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
Most of the nice ones in town, if I'm being honest here, are actually on foundation, so they would be considered a house at that point, so I think that would be,
And that's fine, if that's the way it's considered. I don't know.
that's where I would look at it, so I mean, I guess it'd be a nice.
Well, but that's the way our existing ordinance was, once you establish. And also, to do that, it moves the trailer from personal property to real property, so then you can get a mortgage on it, as opposed to, so your financing has a lot better options.
Attached to the property.
Yes, we need to make it real property by fixing it, which is also why you need to do that.
Yes, because,
Extra info there.
questions, concerns? No manufactured modular, anything, yada, yada, yada. Okay.
If they can put it on foundation, it's gonna be a permanent fixture.
I think it's okay.
I think that's okay. But if they wanna have it where they can take it in now and move it around,
Then, if that's what
Spin it
you guys are
around.
all right with, then you would have to keep our existing ordinance. Yeah, please.
So the discriminator becomes if it has wheels or axles so it can be moved, rather than sitting on a foundation, is that what I'm hearing?
I don't know what we're hearing.
I don't think that's correct. I mean,
The way that ordinance states now, Mike, is that it has to be, basically become a real house. It has to be.
it has to be a permanent fixture
Okay.
So
on
it's
that lot.
sitting on a foundation,
The way
okay?
it is now, there's no mobile homes, no trailers, no nothing other than, the only loophole in there is if you have an engineer sign off on it and the concrete has to touch the foundation, which is kind of difficult to do, not to say it's impossible, but it is a little more difficult. That's part of it, so. The way they make mobile homes, I'm sure you're familiar with, Mike, they're not made to necessarily sit on these things, so that's the problem, so. Person? So to keep it,
They look exactly like the ones at the church.
that's per the rules, that is following the rules 100%.
I mean, it's not a nice word.
There were a lot of cities that have done, but we don't have, it's just have zoning ordinances where, they say you can have a mobile home so long as it's in an area zoned for a mobile home, and then they zone those out of existence as time goes on. Even St. Robert's still has some mobile home areas that are specifically zoned for them to be there. And, I mean, so I mean, St. Robert, down the road, there's so much bigger city, where the budget still has it, so just, they limit them in very specific places so they don't show up on.
Can I comment?
Just in the middle somewhere.
He was mentioning St. Robert, we don't allow single wides, we only allow double wides, it has to be on permanent foundation.
Yeah.
So all the old single wides are slowly getting moved up.
So I think that was the goal of this, but I don't think it
I don't
says
think it
that.
states double wide on there, so.
Yeah, because I mean, you can get a double wide that you put on one foundation and then,
well, there's a few of them in town that just.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem.
yeah.
Well, what they do is they take them, they say they have to sit on a foundation, the wheels and tons has to be removed and permanently attached to the foundation. That's how other cities that I've been to have done that.
I I guess my problem is that if there's any loophole, someone will eventually find it, and somebody's gonna pull a crap out of it. But that's what I'm actually,
Can we just put that
just
in?
trying to have foresight to not let something like that happen.
We can put that on crap hole, can pull a crap hole. And put a year, like it has to be less
When
than.
it's in there, you cannot bring used
That's it.
equipment in. It has to be a brand new,
New manufactured.
brand new manufactured home for nothing, and it has to be a solid way access to oncoming.
Would that be sufficient for you?
I like the whole no single wide, double wide must be new and underpinning or the axle has been ton removed, sitting on permanent foundation.
That's the way it is now, other than the situation of otherwise, and maybe you can revise it then.
So put like a size limit on the house. Can we do that? Yeah. What's a single house, 80 by 16 or something like that?
What about the lot size?
Well, you still have to abide by the setbacks, and a lot of lots wouldn't allow that, so you have to be 10 feet off the set side of each property line, so.
And then it would just be, if you were building a house, you'd have to follow the same.
Yeah, same thing as the house at that point, so. Can you make those revisions for us?
Sure.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Grunton wants to revisit the roundhouse water meter bill. You want to talk about that, Mr. Grunton?
Sure. Shortly after we had the vote the last time, I ran into Brad at the snack inn, and he was expressing some of his concerns about this. And I did a little research. It appears to me that the way to approach this is to have a motion to reconsider that question. And then if there's a second, we can discuss whether or not to open it. So at this point, I would make a motion to reconsider the question.
Is there any good reason to open it again?
Yeah, go ahead,
I mean,
Trish.
before I vote to open it again, I would want to know if there's good reason to open it again.
Well, so we're going
If it's on the agenda, Mike, you can talk about it. Go through that process.
okay. In the city code, and I know this was brought up, but I went back and looked through the current and past. I found no reference where, if it's in the city limits, that there was a charge for the water meter itself. Outside the city limits, yes, in old ordinances and in the current. So I don't think that was omitted. I think that was purposely put there. That there was not, you pay your deposit. If you're in the city basically provides the water meter. Yeah. I think that if we, in voting on that, we basically did that after the fact. We're actually voting to change the code so that we were backdating it basically. Okay, ex post facto, which is typically for criminal things, but there are some cases of contractual things. And then how that was handled in changing from a practice that had been in place for almost 50 years, starting around with Shoe, Paramount, Cap, whoever, was in between them, that it seemed to me that there should have been a little more diligence on our part in working that through on how that was all going to take place. There's Mr. Sloan, the roundhouse used 24 units of water, so it's not involved in the manufacturing process.
It's basically the bathrooms and the break room that they're doing there. If it was a part of their manufacturing process, they were consuming large amounts of water, I would see where it would be a problem.
So I'll just say one thing. I do believe there is a flat rate for the meter in there. I had to go back and look, so I can find that tomorrow for you. As far as why there was never a meter there, I'll address this. And before I even say this, I hate to play devil's advocate here, because if you guys decide that give them the meter for free, I don't have an inkling of care. I just want to make sure I explain everything. The reason that there was never a meter there was somehow way before my time, probably most people's time here, the Brown Shoe Factory had their own well. So that's a well that somewhere along the lines the city bought. And when that was, I haven't looked back and had time to look at it. That's why there was never a meter installed at that location. So just, there's a little bit of clarification there for everybody. So,
Exactly. Yeah, and there were some different views of how that all happened. That at first, Brown Shoe put the well in because there wasn't city water service there. And then later, when the city extended the lines out there, Brown Shoe dedicated the well to the city, and then there was never a meter put in. And so, how that, and I couldn't find anything either that explained that process.
yeah, so my best understanding was that when they sold, because the city owned that property at one time, and they sold it, that's when that piece of the parcel that, well, they said to keep it was. Now, whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. Maybe someone would have to give us clarification on that. So, but this is the only issue I see is that every residence business has to have a metered way of getting that. So we have to figure out how it's going to go up on that. So. Do you remember that we were at last night?
I thought it was $1,200 for the meter and $1,200 for the supplies, and the labor was on top of that in rough numbers.
I think it's over the way the labor price.
2,500 plus labor to install. Value of the meter and parts is approximately 2,500. According to the minutes.
And what was and the amount was,
2,500.
but I thought it was a lesser amount that Trevor motion.
I even just took off the labor so we did last time.
I thought it was 1,200 was the cost of it.
2,500 plus labor.
The meter just by itself is
Yeah.
The value of the parts, the meter and parts is approximately 2,500 plus labor.
Because the animal look and see the price of parts were.
The rest of the stations and pipes and stuff, because the way that building is, you couldn't put the industrial meter in there without pulling it out away from.
She's getting the invoice, we did a bill for the labor. There's some parts and the,
I thought we were gonna give him some time.
we did, we gave you some,
12 months. Okay, I don't remember.
Just parts for it is $2,220.81. We gave it 6 months to pay it. We get it a year.
What's Brad? What's his role? Mr. Jones. What's Brad want? What's his resolution?
What's he requesting? What is the recommendation?
Well, his concern was that the change in the traditional system there, that he really didn't need a 2-inch water meter to operate just for his particular needs there, and that whole thing was overdone to support what he needed.
At some point though, the factory's capable of using that, and so
I would say that the fire suppression system, I don't know if you can get a reason to it. It'd be separate.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, the fire suppression.
Does it need a, I think it's five inches, yeah. It's got these types of, actually, I thought, it was something else there.
Okay, I'm not hearing what you're saying.
We were talking about the fire suppression system, we would require most fire suppression system is on its own designated line, that line is actually tied into.
Yeah, it's right.
maybe it's 4 feet. That's the issue. That's his part.
So what's the difference in cost for a 2-inch meter and a normal residential meter?
Normal residential meter is only about $60, but you can't install one in there because of the line.
That's where, I guess, you do this a different way, if you could build the tap, you can dig the main up on the outside, shut the entire town off, because there's no way to shut that off, because of the way that's designed. Set a meter, and set a 3/4 meter in for him, and run just his background on, but he'd be responsible for everything from the meter to his building. But he'd still have to pay the tap fee, the meter parts, the cost of setting the meter, and everything else.
So it's gonna be $4,000, trying to get done, good thing. You got a meter horn, that's $300. The meter itself, the big top to read it is around 80, if I'm not
Is that
mistaken.
8-inch main in there?
So that's $4,000 a tap fee.
He's gonna have to drill through the concrete, put it in line. That'd be
Maybe you're gonna dip around outside.
Pipe, and you went 3/4, and you went 3/4.
Why would it be a good idea to install a residential meter in a commercial manufacturing building?
It's not, but there's gotta be a way that we can, there's gotta be something to make them happy. Yeah.
So is he requesting to not be billed, not be charged? Is that what?
My understanding was for the meter and the installation.
So he doesn't, he's requesting to not pay for the meter and not pay for the installation.
Maybe Brian's concerned about it. I mean, then he knows exactly what he's wanting. I'm surprised he hasn't shown it.
Figure out exactly where, hash it out.
So what you would want, you're just gonna give meters for free, right there?
Also don't have several multiple industrial keys. He's the only industrial.
There's several, there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's water mats, there's a lot of big meters.
The mayor didn't,
Departments.
All schools now.
Departments are on my meter. There's a lot.
All right, is that the end of that?
you know, I mean, at the end of the day, we need to talk about it.
I'll request Brad to read it next week. Next up would be appointment of chief of police. We need a motion that, Jeff, or no?
All right,
state your name and repeat after me. I, do solemnly affirm. Do solemnly affirm that I possess all the qualifications. Possess all the qualifications prescribed by law. Prescribed by law for the office to which. The office to which I have been appointed. I have been appointed. That I will support the Constitution. I will support the Constitution of the United States. The United States and the state of Missouri. And the state of Missouri. The laws of the state of Missouri. The laws of the state of Missouri affecting fourth-class cities. Affecting fourth-class cities. And all the ordinances. And all the ordinances of the city of Dixon. The city of Dixon. As chief of police of the city of Dixon. As chief of police of the city of Dixon. I will equally, fairly, and impartially, to the best of my ability, and skill, exercise the trust reposed in me, and will use my best endeavor, to preserve the peace, and will faithfully discharge the duties of chief of police of the city of Dixon. So help me God. Congratulations.
Next up would be update from the library.
We had the citywide yard sales last month, and the library personally did really well. People came in and took books and donated money, but I think as a whole they were also pretty successful. The grant money from the $2,000 grant came in, and I met with Kelly and Deanna about that and how we're gonna report all the usage there. So I think everything's in line with that. I'm gonna have a community meeting at the library soon to talk about other ideas from community members too on that. My summer reading program is underway. I already have 24 signed up for it, so that's awesome. And I paired with Home Plate Grill and Jackie Snack It again for free pizza and ice cream. Barb and I went to the Pulaski County Growth Alliance meeting, which I know has nothing to do with the library, but we went, and I'm glad Dixon has representation there. They, their goal is to really grow the county as a whole, as a, place for people to move to and make it desirable for people that are coming in. And I think they're doing a great job of making communities stronger in our area. So I think we're gonna be seeing a lot of them. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Lucy. Police update.
First, I want to introduce a new Officer Bowman. She's come to us from Crocker PD. I'll let her talk.
Hold on, let me pull out my notes on the
Yeah, and I was here to speak. Hi, everybody. I have been in law enforcement for about 7 years, so I'm very happy to come over here. And it's a lot of new faces and a lot of new people, but so far in the past few days I've been here, I've met some wonderful people. Everybody seems to be pretty nice, which is very good, because I have heard words about Dixon. So far I love it, and I'm very excited to spend some time here and get to know everyone.
Thank you very much.
She's going to be working the PM shift, the opposite of Officer Blau. So far, the PD's looking pretty good as personnel. I'm still looking for one part-time individual to work the Friday, Saturday opposite of Officer Ramon. Other than that, I think we're in good shape when we get things. As far as calls goes, we've had a total of 378 calls, 302 without PD phone calls. We had no overdose calls that I see. When you were afraid, we had one that it was natural causes. So, due to uncontrolled circumstances, I do look for certain calls to go up. Hopefully we can curb that pretty quick. We're working hard for that. I purchased body cams for officers. We've had complaints that officers are being rude. being too aggressive. This is one way that I can look at it and see, follow up complaints, and address those issues. As of right now, we're in good shape. Cameras work wonderful. I download these every morning before they use them. They are assigned to a particular officer, so everybody has their own, so I don't have to guess what officer is on. So other than that, we have some network issues that we're working through. We're going to meet with our IT guy, I believe, next week. We'll find out exactly what we can do to fix the issue instead of keep piecing it together, costing us more money than what it should. Other than that, I have nothing else.
Thank you. Anything else? No? Need a motion to go into close, 5 minutes?
And don't need to talk, remember what that was?
Oh, I didn't get that.
How's 6th Street?
We just started really today. We started Friday, a little extra, I started peeling the pavement off. We got the tap guy coming tomorrow, to do hot taps on the ends and the mains.
Did you get plates?
Yes. Take over, please.
Yeah, we rented some from Chase, and we're in a mini from. And we'll see how it is.
Sorry about that. Thank you.
Hey, quick.
Hey, we forget what we want. I mean, you forget it.
Have we looked into, a while back, we had brought up future water tower maintenance needs that are probably gonna come up? Have we looked into pricing what, you know?
No, and I need to do the inspections out, we have to inspect it.
Yeah, we've got a report that states.
Yeah, we got a report, I think actually, one of them wasn't due till next year.
But I just, there's some of that stuff, you know, like painting and stuff like that, I imagine has a pretty good size price tag, and then
Yeah.
being aware of that ahead of time and being able to
Before we get in the
allocate.
budget,
Yeah, we might look into whatever those reports said, whatever the maintenance is. I would say within the next, couple of years, we're probably gonna need to do some painting,
We
cleaning.
did, I don't know if we even talked about it the last meeting, but I know me and Mike talked about it. We've had some well trouble up there that's taken off, which caused both times caused the town to run out of water. And we talked to the guy that set up that electric system, and he said he can put an alarm on it that will notify my phone, like if I'm at home in the middle of the night, that well quit running. That way I know before people run out of water. And he has not got back with me on he said around $5,000. But I told him to get me a firm price, and I haven't heard, that's maybe we can go out and back. But I think that would be a real good 5,000 spent, rather than having so many mad people that are out of water before we know it, you know what I'm saying?
I'm with you, Pat.
Right now, it was so long, it's not too good, because I'm sitting there in Texas, that tower is overflowing while I'm sitting here.
Yeah, we need to get that, I'd like to get that fixed, where they can both hold water.
Yeah, so, yeah, you let me know the other day.
Look at a river out here, by the way.
Well, we were testing it to see where that fill pressure was.
Yeah, that tower's a lot higher than this, when they installed it, they cemented it, kind of put it right. So what it amounts to, when this tower's full, it's barely out of the stem of that. We've got a 200,000 gallon space up there not even getting used. You know, they do make a valve to go in there, I forget what you call it, but they do make a valve that's going in the line.
No, it's got like an atmospheric, it's some kind of atmospheric
I think that
pressure
is the
valve.
name of it.
Yeah, they talk about that before.
I don't know what it calls, we've got a lot of empty space up there.
I mean, we need a plan in place to get that, because we got 2 towers, there's no sense of us not utilizing those.
So last week, I think it was, I tried to shut this tower off, because it was 50,000 gallons. So I'm gonna shut it off, and then just use that one, because it's 4 times as much water. Well, that valve's not good. After you would lose what we went through, I
Put it on the list.
We had 2 inch shooter pipes on it. It was
Get It's on the list.
One of our major things needs to be to get SCADA, so you get a notification when we have a water issue. That's,
Yeah, I think that would be a, for $5,000, I think that would be a good deal, where we notify me what be up, whatever time of night, I can come down and figure out why, you know.
Or we can raise the tower. I've seen it with my eyes done before.
RSV.
Yeah, we can raise it.
What?
Seven,
That's a different, we have different problems, like.
Wants to build a brand new water tower at 400. And before they put the water in, it was 37 feet too short, and they had to bring 4 cranes in and lift it up. Yes.
Oh.
You want to talk about tax dollars? There you go.
I'd like to get ready for
anything else about that?
Yeah, just, get make a list of stuff that
Yeah.
is gonna be needed.
Like I say, I went on him, he's supposed to,
Get some,
I can't remember his name now, we got him over on the lake. He's the one that set all that up.
It's
let's try to not play catch up.
Yeah.
Motion to go into close, 5-minute recess, let everybody get out.
Make a motion to go into closed session after 5 minutes.
Second.
Michael Wonder,
Yes.
Anthony Campbell.
yes.
Stacy Oakham.
Yes.
Trevor Warren.
Yes.
Mary Wiles.
Yes.
Any opposed? 7-2.